have a question for you. I was thinking about this earlier.
What's
I'll
that?
tell you why. I'll tell
Okay.
you why.
Uh-oh.
Do you think I should be somebody allowed to use scissors?
Um,
Like, truthfully.
maybe not move with scissors, but I think you can use scissors.
Okay. Well, I thought I could use scissors too, but while I was opening up all my work stuff, I cut myself with the scissors.
How did you manage that?
It was trying to open like a really like tiny package and it just kind of like slipped. It's just like a little baby cut on my finger. But I thought to myself, and I was just like, I wonder if people think I shouldn't use scissors. And this is exactly the moment.
Also, scissors opening a box.
Yeah, I couldn't find like a knife.
Doesn't say like that's like a pro strat. Like you need to be like good with scissors to open a box.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I was trying to look for my fun little knife that I have because now it's like just one blade instead of multiple open.
I mean, you have that like zombie machete in your kitchen. You could have used that.
Dude, I could have. I didn't even think about it because, like I said, it was a little tiny box.
Little baby box.
It was a little baby box.
Slam down with the machete on it. Hello, and welcome back to Our Internet Podcast, a podcast about things you don't know, but soon will.
Yes.
And we're here for the spooky episode.
It is the start of spooky season. And so now we're just both ghouls. I'll just be Faye Ghoul or Faye Ghoul.
Faye Ghoul.
Ghoul Bay.
Ghoul Bay works. I like
Ghoul
that.
Bay.
But Fago.
Fago.
Yeah, like that soda that like juggalos drink and spray all over themselves.
Dude, I see those types of brands of sodas and I'm just like, what's the difference? Like, why are they like the same with like the pastries and stuff like that? You see like the pastries that are so very like Hispanic pastries. And I'm just like, what's the difference of just like a regular honey bun versus like what this is?
I think because they're like way different. The Mexican pastries are like way different because it's just like there's jelly and shit inside of them. Yeah, it's weird.
No.
But Fago is just like really cheap soda that make like weird flavors like cotton candy and shit like that. And it's just sugar. It's pretty much just all sugar.
Ew.
Yeah, and just juggalos love spraying it on themselves.
It's like we're
thing.
celebrating being juggalos.
Yeah. Anyway,
yes, happy spooky season, Tipsy.
Happy spooky season. We took a bit of a hiatus there, just a 2-week off. Just shit was going down. Yeah, shit was going down. Shit was going down all around us. Like fucking the first hurricane.
Yeah, there was 2 hurricanes that breached our area or like around us, and then you got sick.
Well, yeah, then the biolab exploded.
Oh yeah, shit, the biolab too. Fuck, that sucked.
And then I was running around in that chlorine air for a while, and then the next day I was sick. So it might have had something to do with it, but yeah, I got sick for like a whole week.
Yep.
And you're starting a new job, and now I'm going to start a new job as well. So we're both starting a new job at the same time. So
yep. So we took a little bit of a break so that we could truly gather our strength and kind of write some scripts, get a lot of stuff down so that like we could come back with full force. And I hear we have a really silly, goofy one for you today.
Oh yeah, we are doing cryptids. And
so please, because I didn't know what the fuck a cryptid was, please tell me what a cryptid is.
I think I brought this up to you. Like I was like, yeah, we'll do. Like I have a cryptid script I wrote. And you thought I was talking about crypto.
Yes.
Just saying it wrong. And I was like, no, it's different.
Yes, I thought your autocorrect was fucking with you. I was like, what is a cryptid? I actually had to look it up myself because I was like, not sure.
Yeah, a cryptid is pretty much just like a urban legend or an actual, I guess it wouldn't be actual. It's like a legend or just like some kind of story told. Like Bigfoot's a cryptid.
Gotcha.
That's like the best way I can describe it.
That makes a lot of sense.
No one's ever seen it, but he's out there.
There's people that spend their actual lives looking for him.
Yeah, what a fucking waste. I can't even say shit. I'm the one looking into all this. So I can't even talk shit.
You spent a portion of your life looking
I sure
into
did.
this.
And a bunch of them, so.
Hell yeah, I'm so excited. And so we decided, because of the cryptids and
Mhm.
because we wanted to be silly, funny, goofy for you guys, and to kind of debut the fun little setup that we have going on for the YouTube enjoyers out there. If you're just
Yeah.
listening to this audio wise, you're kind of missing out now, because we have a fun little PNG tuber podcast setup on YouTube. So definitely check our YouTube videos out, because they're going to be straight up like an actual video.
Yeah, we're in our little studio here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a plant behind me.
I got a frame of art that is nothing behind me.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know, man. And
Just
maybe
replace it with a cryptid.
yes. And who knows, maybe throughout the weeks our background might change. We might go different places. Our PNG tubers are ready to go. Our passports are booked. We won't stay here.
Yeah. I want one of the backgrounds to be just like that Gilmore Girls scene with like Jess.
Why did you drop out of Yale?
Like it's like we're both like two people like sitting in like a little bistro or whatever they were, and they're yelling outside.
Oh my god, that would be so epic.
That'd be the best.
But yeah, so we appreciate you guys hanging on for the hiatus, but new things and bigger things are coming, and I'm ready to get so silly goofy today because we're ranking these cryptids.
We're ranking them?
Well, I don't know. Tipsy, are you going to rank them alongside me, or do you want me to just rank them on my own?
You can just rank them on your own, because I already know all of it.
He's just like, they're already S tier for me. I got this. I will be ranking them. It will go in line with cult fashion. We will get as crazy and head trippy as you could possibly imagine.
I'll fucking try. I got some silly ones in here.
I love it.
All right. To start it all off, might as well just start at the top. You know,
Okay.
the king, the big man himself.
The king?
It's the one you would like always think of when you think of a cryptid.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not in your case because you didn't know what a cryptid was, but most people think of Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, big boy.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why he would be considered king of the cryptids. I guess because he's like the most human-ish.
He's pretty human. I think it's just name notoriety. Like it, because lots of people go looking for Bigfoot here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's like a thing we do. We all do it.
You know, when I turned 16,
yeah, my dad took me out in the woods and we searched all over.
We went to the West, man. That was the only time I've been to Washington.
Yeah. How did you know that? Because I didn't know Bigfoot was like a Washington thing.
So I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of stupid,
Uh-oh.
but I knew it was Pacific Northwest because of How I Met Your Mother. Because Marshall from How I Met Your Mother is obsessed with like Bigfoot and conspiracies and stuff.
I see.
And so there was like a moment where the friend group was talking and he was just like, you guys don't tell each other everything, and he's like, yeah, what about that time we went blah blah blah, and she goes, that's a trick question. He's never been to the Pacific Northwest because he's afraid of Sasquatch.
I see,
and it's
I
like
see.
boom, all right, got it. I just kind of guessed that it was Washington.
Yeah, I had no. Yeah, well, I mean, it's Oregon, Washington, like
I see.
all that. So, I had no idea. I thought it was like a Southern thing. It sounds like
It does kind of sound Southern.
It sounds like a redneck thing to say. It's like, that's
I was about to say,
it's a big old man in the woods.
Definitely something that you'd think Georgians
I'm gonna
would go
hunt
out
him.
and go. Oh my god, I was gonna say something so bad. I was gonna be like, he's brown, let's go hunt him.
How dare he different than us?
How dare he? Jesus.
Yeah.
He crossed into my border.
Yeah. Technically he was here first. It don't matter.
Oh god. He looks cool
God.
in this photo that you picked though. He looks scary and kind of cool holding the boulder.
Yeah, I had this other picture like up, but I was like, no, that's stupid. It's just it's him looking around the corner.
That definitely
Just
shows his
pogging.
elusiveness. Is like if he was just kind of like being coy and demure, but this one shows him being the badass king that he is.
Mm-hmm. Well, for those who don't know, Bigfoot is pretty much just he's like a 6 foot to 8 foot guy thing, like ape looking like face, brown, like covered in fur, just brown and black
Yeah.
fur. Stands on his 2 feet and is believed to have human like intellect.
Okay. So they think he's got some intelligence.
No, they think he's like smarter than humans.
Interesting.
Or like human level like intelligence. As we already said, most of the sightings are in Washington State and like Oregon and places like that. But there's obviously sightings all over like America. But Washington apparently is just the one where he's probably living or whatever. If he is there.
Yeah. Okay. Do they think? And I don't know if you'll get into this, but like, do you think that they think he's that intelligent because he's elusive and nobody has like found him?
Yeah. So on all of these, I have what I found with all the evidence that I've read about all this stuff. I've like found what I believe the reason is, or what other people believe the reason is why, they're not like an animal, like classified animal. And for that, I say there is no definitive proof of his existence. The common belief that is he's too smart to leave evidence behind.
Okay. He probably watches true crime.
Yeah.
He's a true crime podcaster.
Yeah, he's a true crime girlie.
He's a true crime girlie.
He knows not to leave the bloody knife in the kitchen or whatever.
Yep. No, I could see it. I could definitely see it. I think that's like the silliness of him to give some like truth and reality to his existence, thinking that he's just way too smart to be caught or be found is hilarious.
I don't really technically believe in it, but I do give credence to like forests are fucking huge in America. Like
oh dude, and especially in the west north, like the northwest. Oh my gosh.
He's also like kind of like a giant monkey. He's pretty much like a giant person, if anything. And so he has like hands and feet, so he can definitely climb and stuff. So just putting all that into account, he can definitely
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Interesting. Any other noteworthy things about Bigfoot?
Not really. That's just it. It kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
He's just a big guy that no one's seen.
All right. If I was going to rank Bigfoot, being as he is our first person that we're going with.
He's the first. He's also the fucking king.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might put him in B tier though.
B tier?
I might move him. But I'm going to put him in B tier.
Okay. You're going to realize that the bar just gets lower from here though. So you might be moving him around.
I might find my new spirit animal in this. Okay,
ooh,
Tipsy,
ooh.
don't sell myself short. Okay.
Okay. All right. The next one we got is Nessie.
Hey,
the Loch Ness
Nessie.
Monster. Yeah.
I know about Nessie a little bit.
Yeah, from Twilight.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that Renesmee gets named Nessie, and then Bella freaks the fuck out.
You
and she's
named
like,
her after the Loch Ness Monster.
That was such a great scene too, because it's just bypassing over the fact that like Jacob is imprinted on this baby, and people are just like, what the fuck? Because like imprinting is just like massively intimate, and it's a baby.
Yeah, I could not believe that was a thing. That's so cringe.
Yeah.
Anyway, get back on track. Nessie is pretty much a big reptile from Scottish folklore in the lake of Loch Ness.
Oh, yeah. So she's named after the lake that she lives in?
Yeah, and Loch Ness. I don't, the comments don't incinerate me. I know Loch means lake. So yeah, it's Lake Ness, but Lake Loch Ness sounds cooler.
Yeah. I think so. Okay, interesting. She's like kind of dinosaur-esque if you think about it. Like in this picture that we've depicted, like she's kind of like Brontosaurus dinosaur. Is she like? Is
it's a plesiosaurus.
Plesiosaurus. So is it? It's supposed to be. I guess in her, if I'm like going off of that, like, do people think this is just a dinosaur that just kind of survived everything?
Yeah. Oh. And just keeps somehow making more babies, even though that's not how life works.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like technically, if you think about it, if they think Nessie keeps just making babies, that's technically not the original Nessie.
Yeah, unless it's the same dinosaur that went extinct 66 million years ago.
Maybe.
But you never know.
And you said she's in Scotland?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's got a big round body, 4 fins, and a long neck with a small little head on top.
She's got fins.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like a Lapras?
Yeah, she's exactly like that's what Lapras is based off of, I think.
Oh, okay.
Is
Okay.
Nessie.
That was a Pokemon reference for you nerds out there.
Yeah. Someone got it, I'm sure.
Interesting. She's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only evidence of Nessie,
Mm-hmm.
even there's tons of documentaries and like billions of dollars that went into looking in this one lake
Mm-hmm.
for this one dinosaur.
Yeah.
And not finding anything, obviously. But like people just have seen it. There's that famous picture of it's like head breaching the water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is that dinosaur technically doesn't have has a way to like arch its neck up like that. Anyway, because it uses its long neck to like sneak up on prey and like grab it underwater.
Gotcha. So this is not. So you would say that this type of dinosaur would always just stay underwater.
Yeah, or if it was, its back would breach the surface, and then its head would like breach the surface like over there.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't like its head wouldn't like go up in like
I
that
see.
weird
So like
cane
so
fashion.
yeah, so like the picture we have here, the erectness of the neck is not normal for what that what else am I gonna call it?
She's much too erect.
She's too erect to be real. Okay. Nessie is interesting. Is there any other? So there's photo proof that people to this day will die by that is like for
but
real.
it's like a log or something, or a weird wave or something like that. And there's like stories of like Nessie up on land, like almost like knocking a car over and stuff. It's like,
would you say that Nessie would be violent?
No, not towards people, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or anything bigger than it, because I mean it is a big animal, but at the same time it's like made for like eating like fish. Like it wouldn't have the capacity to really like harm a human being, because a human being is like much too quick for it.
For real. Did you ever watch Phineas and Ferb?
A little bit.
So they had a Scottish episode where they were like, they actually found the Loch Ness monster.
Hey yo.
But like they like chilled with it and became buds, and they like protected it.
What was the song in that episode?
I don't remember. I just remember like them literally saving the dino's life, but like from the submarine that they built themselves. Right. That's actually part of the boat that they were fishing with their dad in, mind you.
One of my favorite things, like I didn't watch the show at all, but one of the funniest things that I've ever seen is Dr. Doofenshmirtz is just like a platypus.
Yes.
And then like he puts on the hat and he's like,
platypus. Yes.
And so like he'll just see a platypus roll up and he's like, huh?
I do love that. I do love that Dr. Doofenshmirtz is so open-minded that he would assume that platypus would just like come up to him and just be like, sup, dude?
He's just hanging out, and then he puts on the hat and he's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, he's just like
James Bond.
He just like finger guns at him and he's just like, what the fuck? Where'd you come from, Perry? I love Phineas and Ferb so much. When it was like had to have been like 10 years ago, but that was genuinely a show that I would watch all the time. And it was just so fun, and like the twins were growing up, so it made a lot of sense to like watch it and stuff. Phineas and Ferb is cute. Can't recommend it enough. So high key there. Yeah. Is there anything else about Nessie I should know?
Nope, not at all.
All right, I'm gonna put her in S tier. I love Nessie.
S-tier, that's
I
a good
love
one.
Nessie.
Yeah.
I think she's great. I think she. It was really surprising to learn that like the type of dinosaur that it could be from, like, or that people are thinking that she kind of comes from, is not even able to do what this image says.
Yeah.
That's wild to me, because I'm thinking like brontosaurus, like kind of just stuck in the water.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, it's a fish. I'm like, oh shit.
I mean, it's not a fish, but I mean, it's just head wouldn't be able to do that.
True.
It just has it's like a turtle, you know.
There, yeah.
It's like a turtle with a really long head. Pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay, I high key. I love Nessie though. I think she's great. So yeah, she's gonna be S tier for me all day.
All right. We'll move on to the next one. This little guy is my fucking jam. This is my favorite one.
Wait, is this Mothman?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Goth chick wet dream. Mothman.
Our bestie, Ghoulish Cat, loves Mothman.
Yeah. I haven't met a person who doesn't like Mothman.
He just looks super
He
cool.
just looks super cool. And then like any kind of small plushy version of him, adorable.
I only know Mothman. Fun fact: I only know Mothman from this one. I think you were there when I tried to do the one shot with the Jenga. It was called Dread, or no, it was called Aw Dang Mothman Won't Leave the House or some shit like that. And it was trying to like a type of D&D campaign, but you made decisions with Jenga.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I did not play that with you.
You did not play that.
No.
Everybody else was there. Your partner was there too, because that was when I found out that your partner doesn't like to play Jenga because it makes her too anxious.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like where Mothman's just chilling on your couch, right? And he doesn't pay rent or anything. Yeah,
he doesn't leave your house.
Yeah, he's like just flipping through TiVo.
he just chills out. He just comes to your house and he just stays there.
Yeah, he buzzes angrily and shit.
Yep. But that's the only reason I know Mothman. So I don't know anything about like his lore or his history or how he's come to be this like elusive cryptid. So I'm definitely down to hear it.
Yeah, he's just a big old guy. He's apparently like a 7-foot tall cryptid.
Oh shit, like really tall.
Yeah, like a Bigfoot-sized monster.
That's kind of scary then.
Yeah, the big glowing red eyes, like a moth, and then has like whitish, like powdery wings.
Oh,
that stretch out really far. He's a West Virginia one. Like, so yeah.
West Virginia. Okay, that's where he stems from.
Yeah.
Okay.
First sighting was over by a World War II munitions plant. Just a couple was driving down the road and they just saw this big dark man with like glowing red eyes.
Jesus.
Like big wings. And apparently like, it like flew over them and like followed them and was like attacking them and using his eyes as like weird like laser things, but I don't know.
That's such a wild story. Like that's so crazy to me.
Yep.
What the fuck? Were they so like do we know anything about this couple that reported it?
They were just a normal American couple. Like
were they
were a little
drugs?
bit older. No, they were like that good old American 50s, 60s like couple.
Oh, so they have
but
enough
they're like 50 or something.
Gosh, so they have enough brain power to like make rational choices and thoughts.
Yeah.
Interesting. And this is what they come up with.
Yeah. I mean, but the biggest thing that he was a part of, because that was like 66, 1966. I think December of the same year, there was a bridge that went down. And this is in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. There was a bridge that went down, cars going in like fire and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then from the smoke, a bunch of people in the area reported seeing the Mothman emerging from the smoke.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So he caused it?
I think people associate him with something that bad is going to happen. They'll see him.
Like he's an omen.
Yeah. He's pretty much just an omen.
That's actually really fucking cool. What a lore. Omens are awesome. West Virginia is not so awesome.
No.
He might get points off for West Virginia.
Yeah, he might get wrong turned out there. I don't want to be out there. You know what Wrong Turn is?
I don't know what Wrong Turn is.
That like scary movie. It's like Hills Have Eyes, but in like West Virginia, like forests.
Oh, that's so creepy.
It's gross. It's upsetting. They get worse as they can go on, as every scary movie does. I think there's like 5 of them now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
But anyway, yeah, in my opinion, I think it's just a giant bird, giant owl.
Oh,
it's reflective eyes, big reflective eyes.
So, okay. So you think it's just like people have like perspective warped of like what it actually is, but it's just like a larger than normal flying
it's
bird.
just a big old owl, and people don't really know how big owls are.
That's
and plus,
true.
Like, West Virginians are morons, so fucking got them, dude.
Got them. Okay.
Well, especially in the 60s too.
Yeah,
West Virginians in the 60s.
I think that's a good assessment, especially because like I feel like we'd be more susceptible to understanding what something like that is nowadays in the 21st century, but back then in the 60s.
Oh yeah, that's a gigantic fucking owl. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then we would Google it and be like, how big can owls get? And then it would be like, oh, their wingspan can
7
be
7 feet.
Yeah, the wingspan is 12 feet long, and you're like, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
All right, with Mothman, points deducted, like I said, for West Virginia, because that's literally an armpit of the U.S.
One of them.
One of the many. So I'll put him in A tier.
A tier, okay.
I like him. I like his model. I like the idea of Mothman a lot, and I like how cute he can get
You like
with
his
some of
vibe?
the stuff. His vibe is really cute.
Vibe check, Mothman. Vibe check.
I feel like just in general, his whole like, it's kind of like Nessie. He's kind of like he's like actually the opposite. I'll say the opposite of Nessie, where Nessie is kind of just like cutesy and kind of just chilling and hanging out. Like this is like the 180 where it's just like death and destruction are gonna follow this Mothman, and that's kind of metal. And so I put metal in A tier.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that. I like it. All right, on to the next one.
All right.
The Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. Don't you mean Chewbacca or Capybara?
Capybara.
I can't believe that I thought I literally said 2 parts of what this could be.
Yeah, I knew exactly what you were talking about, but I was like, maybe she'll get it.
I will get there eventually.
Chewbacca? No, not Chewbacca. Capybara? No.
And for those who are listening, that may or may not have been the intro. I'm still deciding on whether it's me being able to handle scissors or me not being able to say Chupacabra. We'll see in post. As of right now, editing Faye has no fucking idea what she's gonna put there. All right. So I was about to say capybara again.
Capybara. The capybara.
Chupacabra.
The chupacabra. The chupacabra is Spanish lingo for the goat sucker.
Okay, the goat sucker.
Interesting. The chupacabra is a smaller than like medium-sized dog, pretty much, like the size of it.
Okay, we have 3 dogs here in my house. Can you reference what the sizing would be?
I'd say twice as big as Heidi.
Twice as big as Heidi.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like maybe Luna sized, maybe a little smaller.
Okay.
It's like scaly and reptilian. It has like these razor sharp claws. Maybe usually is depicted with like an ape face.
Interesting.
Like Bigfoot's face.
So so it's kind of like a hybrid of animals mixed together. Interesting.
It has like these spines coming out of its back.
Oh.
Big red eyes.
Jesus. This is the most like fantasy-esque type one that we've heard so far.
This is the crazy one. Its origin came from Puerto Rico, where a lot of sightings were seen of it.
Okay.
But this was like a different version of it. It's like instead of the size of like a medium-sized dog, it was like the size of a small bear.
Oh.
Yeah, so like something my size.
Jesus.
Running around attacking cattle and stuff like that.
And so tell me how this guy came to be, like this legend.
This is the kind of spooky part that I don't understand.
Okay.
So there were goats. There's a lot of goats and sheep and stuff like that, like livestock. Farmers were finding these livestock with their blood drained like from their body.
Like a vampire?
Like a exactly. Like a vampire got a hold of them.
Okay.
But it's like no animal would just leave the carcass,
corpse,
like the meat behind. You would eat the meat, like any wolf or anything would eat the meat. But like just the blood drained from it is a little crazy.
That is really crazy.
Other than the, sightings of it, that is the only other evidence that it's like something's going on there.
Oh, is this still happening to this day?
Probably not.
Okay, I was wondering.
It's like all these are pretty much like early stories,
Gotcha,
these are like the
gotcha.
50s, 60s, where you have no real evidence to like show that it's real. But
I see. So this would be a legend like a grandma would tell their grandchild right now, like to make sure to lock up the goats or the cattle, because then the chupacabra will come.
Pretty much. But there is actual documented stuff of goats and stuff with their like blood drained from their bodies.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's the spooky part about it.
What about like bite marks or like knife cuts or
there were obviously like bite marks and stuff like that. Okay. But it's like the bite marks and then it's just like the blood was sucked from there. It's like, what the?
Oh, that's so spooky.
Yeah, that's a spooky one.
That's so spooky. And there's not much else to go on for him?
Nope. That's just it. Other than the sightings. So in my opinion, I think it's like either just a crazy wolf with like mange or something on it.
Oh,
so that's why it like looks all crazy, and maybe it's not the wolf causing it, but it's like people draining blood for like satanic rituals or some shit like that. So who really knows?
Yeah, there could be a multitude of reasons. So it could just be like, maybe blood drained previously before wolf got to it. And like maybe the wolf is like, I need that blood, man.
Or the wolf isn't even like part of it. It's just like, oh, someone saw this like gross looking dog in the street, and they like assume that's what it is because it's creepy looking.
So you're saying, so you like the idea that it's probably about as big as a bear, not necessarily like a medium-sized dog?
I'd say it's like a medium-sized dog more.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that's the American, because it got Americanized, obviously. Yeah, so southern states see the chupacabra as like a little dog, like running around, like jumping on goats, sucking their blood, and running away into the night. This is like a full, like the original chupacabra is like a big old bear thing, like scaly bear.
I see. Okay. Fuck. I don't know. That would be a legend that I would probably, if I was in Puerto Rico and I had a Puerto Rican grandmother and she was telling me stories about the chupacabra, I probably would have nightmares and I probably would be scared.
If you put me out in the field at night, that is what I'd be afraid to see, is like the disgusting looking mange covered dog.
Yeah, or
that
something.
Could, like, pounce something. Yeah, with like spines coming out of its back.
Yeah. I'm going to put, I'll put that at S tier as well.
Hell yeah.
For the straight up, like, for the scariness of it. Because the idea is like, Bigfoot and Nessie have like aggressive tendencies. Same with Mothman. Like, Mothman's just literally an omen of death. Like, it's all of these kind of seem to have that like touch of like, you're supposed to be afraid of them. Like, you're supposed to go looking for something that is terrifying. Yeah. But this is the only one so far that I've heard that is like genuinely could make me, it's like could give me nightmares.
Yeah, or make you like fucking faint if you saw it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it still is S tier for Loch Ness Monster and Chupacabra.
Let's go.
A tier for Mothman. B tier for Bigfoot.
I agree. Okay.
Bigfoot's just losing rank. Honestly, with all of these players, I think he's just lost rank.
Oh no.
I just moved to the next picture. That was terrifying.
It looks like you already skipped ahead. You got jump scared.
I did. I got jump scared. So what's the next one?
The Goat Man.
Oh, okay. That is a Goat Man.
Yeah. He kind of looks like James McElroy in the Narnia, doesn't he?
Yes.
But anyway, the Goat Man.
The Goat Man. So
half
spooky.
man, half goat.
He's like reaching out into my soul, and I don't like that.
Yeah, he's a little spooky. That picture's a little spooky.
Yeah, definitely.
I did have like a weird little like drawing of a guy. It looked like James McAvoy. Like, but I was like, no, this one's way scarier.
Yeah, absolutely.
The area he's from is Beltsville, Maryland.
Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Top part of man, lower half's a goat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, described with like horns on his head, kind of like a faun from like Greek mythology, which is like what Mr. Tumnus is.
Yeah, I gotcha.
His legend came up as a lot of animals started going missing, like people's pets and stuff started going missing. Like, you know, just or just dead bodies like of animals strewn around.
I see. So when they're saying that they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, it's this guy.
We're talking about Mr. Tumnus, yes.
Jesus.
Alongside these were sightings of a goat man or like a big like hairy figure like running into, like, people have seen like half man half goat, and some people just see it more as like Bigfoot looking.
Oh, okay. So we're getting a little bit of blurred cryptids here, where like you've got different perceptions of what's fucking with people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a couple variations of Goat Man, which like the one you see there, the picture is the normal like, oh, this is like a crazy like looking animal human thing that runs around, kills things, and
it
flips
screams
over cars or whatever.
It screams like demon movie. Like somebody like pulled this image out of like one of those like Blair Witch fucking movies or something. And this is what we got.
Picture,
yeah.
And then there's the other of the Goat Man where people just think it's like an old hermit living out like on the outskirts.
Oh,
so that's where they just kind of get like that Bigfoot angle from. It's like he's not really a goat, but he's just like an old guy killing people's cats and dogs and eating them.
Yikes.
Yeah. So one variation I like the most,
okay,
which was a scientist that worked in a nearby facility.
Who
accidentally mutated himself.
I knew it.
into a half man half goat thing.
Jeez.
And he just rips apart anything that comes into the forest that he lives and like attacks cars and stuff.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of movies of Goatman.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that is something that if it wasn't for the fact that that's so technologically advanced for the society, like I would completely agree. Like hell yeah, like that's like the best version. I do think it might also be like more Bigfoot-esque where like it is just a person that's just trying to get food and any way they can, like just out in the woods. But are we to assume that this is a picture of like an actual picture? Like somebody drew this?
That's like it's a drawing.
Okay.
It's not real. How he's described is human face. Like goat-ish features, maybe goat eyes or something, and horns. And then his lower half, like from his like belly down, is like goat hooves. That just looks cool in my opinion.
It does. This one, if I was gonna go with like being an elusive legendary creature, like I would want to be depicted this way.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, you would, because like if the idea is I'm just a regular Joe,
right? And
like I'm, people are finding legends about me or making legends about me. Like, I don't want to just be some man. I don't want to be just Bigfoot. I don't want to be, see, like I'm saying, Bigfoot's losing rank here. Because, like, now, like, with all the ones that we've learned about so far, or that I've learned about, like, Bigfoot's so low on the scale for me of just, like, they could have done better. They could have done better. Because Bigfoot is so close to just being a person, like, a big, tall dude that just chills, man. This is so crazy.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think it's just people making up sightings. Maybe the old hermit living on the edge of town, killing animals and stuff. Along with a bunch of teenagers also faking sightings. Because the police station does get a lot of fake sightings of Goatman.
I see.
It's always jokes and like pranks from teenagers.
It's that like whole dare you to go out there and like find Goatman or be there or some shit like with a cat, like bring a cat with you. Oh my god.
Yeah, he loves pussy, dude.
I hear he is a pussy master. If I was gonna put him somewhere though, I think he loses a lot of street cred because he's so worthy of providing fake stories like to people. Like it's so, I feel like people who get like sightings, quote unquote, of Goatman find less, like he doesn't have as much weight to his legend as others do because of the many fake sightings that are put out. So I'm actually going to put him in C tier. I actually think he's worthy of D tier, but I might move him into D once I hear about other ones. Okay. Other ones seem very like middle of the ground. I'm putting it right here. Right after Goatman, I'm officially moving Bigfoot down to C tier.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's just because he's now for me become the baseline of what all of these legends have come from.
I see. Before we get into ones where I'm sure people have no idea what these next ones are. Those are all the ones that like are kind of like aware.
Oh, like so people are aware of. These are ones where like if you talked about like legends with people, these like, would be the ones.
If I said Goatman, people like who know what cryptids are would be like, yeah, I know what Goatman is. I know where that is. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's some honorable mentions before we get into like the deep stuff.
Ooh, okay.
We're gonna talk about the Yowie.
Yowie.
The Yowie.
Okay.
Which is just Bigfoot in Australia. That is all.
Oh, so it's basically Bigfoot, just in a different country or continent.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have any pictures of it because I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's
scroll
just
to
Bigfoot.
The top. Yeah, to scroll back up to the top.
See Exhibit A.
Yeah. And then for the next honorable mention, just to get him out of the way, Champy the Champ.
Champy the Champ.
Yeah.
That sounds like a little doggy.
It's Lake Champlain's Loch Ness Monster.
Oh.
That is all.
Oh. I see.
His name's Champy.
So would you say like he's a smaller version of like Nessie?
No, he's the same dinosaur as Nessie. It's the same exact thing, just in a different lake.
Well, maybe they should meet.
Just get them together.
Just get them together. Just let them have babies. Yeah, those aren't even worth ranking either. they're just They're just literal copies of what's already been out there.
Yeah.
That's honestly just everybody else just being jealous of what's already there.
I just like the name Champy.
Yeah, Champy was adorable.
Calling something Champy the Champ kind of rule.
Champy the Champ leads to a better cryptid than what it actually ended up being, and that really makes me upset.
I'm sorry.
Don't blame yourself. Blame everybody else for making that name.
Yeah, Lake Champlain. Anyway, all right, onto the fucking crazy ones.
Okay.
This next one is called air rods. It looks like a grainy picture of a long, like, snake with like little lines coming off of it, pretty much. Just super high up in the sky, like you're looking up at it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. The air rods are called also flying rods or skyfish.
Okay. I can see that.
No one really knows exactly what they are.
So people just see them and they just are like, we have to name that.
They're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Do they do any damage or anything?
No, they're just there.
They're just there.
People just take pictures of these things all around the world.
Interesting.
Ooh, it's spooky.
That is very spooky. That like it. Yeah, because that leads to like this just exists, and like I said, people want to put a name of like a legend to like almost like kind of animal-esque, where I'm immediately going to like a UFO, like aliens, some shit. So why are they not thinking aliens? What are they doing that like that just proves that it's not aliens?
It's well, I mean, I do know why this is.
Oh,
what it is.
I see.
Burying the lead a little bit. How do you explain this? Have you ever like been outside at night and you like look up at like at your like the lights outside and you see like a moth flying around it?
Yeah.
And you see how it's like you can see it's like wings fluttering, like with its back to the light and everything. You see like that, what would you call it? Like haze of like an after image, pretty much. You pretty much just see after images of that.
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's pretty much a bug in a camera, like going across a camera like that, if that makes sense.
I see. Okay.
That's all it is.
Has that been proven?
Yeah, you can make skyfish.
Oh, so
with your camera.
Are people constantly making skyfish?
Well, I mean air rod or skyfish, air rods, whatever the fuck. No one ever like sees video of them or anything. It's always just pictures
just still
of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then people come up with stories with them.
Gotcha. So people see something and they're just like, that's awkward and unusual.
Or they'll catch it in a picture. Like it'll be a picture of like their family and then they'll see that in this like corner.
Oh, okay. So it's one of those elusive where it's just like it's photographed and then people are just like, what the fuck is that? And then
but like if you saw like you wouldn't be able to ignore something like that in the sky.
True.
Like if you and your family were out there taking a picture and then it's like, oh, look what I noticed in the picture. You would know it was there because it's like a gigantic, weird, crazy looking thing in the sky.
Yeah, you would turn around and then you'd fucking see it.
Yeah, you would start videoing like, what the fuck is that?
Very true. So yeah, the fact that it's only in like pictures, like still images, leads more to that because like bugs can get as close as they want to your fucking camera and be that.
Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much that one.
I see. Okay. A little lackluster, I'm not gonna lie.
You were spooked at first, though.
I was spooked at first because I was like, that, like I said, definitely is like UFO shit. But being able to actually explain it logically really makes it F tier for me.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good one.
That's an F tier. That's a people aren't using their brains even a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why it's F tier.
Yeah. I mean, if you just show someone that picture, it is terrifying a little bit on its own because it kind of looks like it's a really big, massive thing just up in the sky that you don't see. Moving on to the one you've already saw this one too.
Yeah,
accidentally skipped one.
Gross. This looks gross, and I don't even want to look at it.
It's the Fiji mermaid.
The Fiji. Oh, that's supposed to be like a person,
not a
half
monkey. Mammal, half fish abomination.
Okay. Interesting.
It was around 3 feet long.
Okay.
It was caught off the shores of like Fiji Islands in the 1800s.
I see.
And these are just the picture that you see are the mummified remains.
So somebody caught it and then preserved it?
Yeah, and the way it's kind of like, it looks like it died in great agony, doesn't it? It looks like crazy looking.
Yeah, it looks like what the fuck, man. Well, it's crazy too because if you like look at the skeleton or the mummified, it looks like it's only partially like the very very bottom of it is like fish.
I mean, honestly, you kind of got it in the beginning. It's literally a fish sewn to a monkey.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh, so so you're saying somebody mutilated like another animal to make this?
2 animals, yeah.
2 animals, yeah.
And then just like mummified it. Okay, so it's basically a monkey combined with a salmon. And it's believed that Japanese fishermen would, make long like diatribes to people who weren't from the area and sell them for a lot of money. Also, while like pranking them, but also getting rich off it.
Gotcha. So locals were pranking tourists. Fuck.
Yeah. So
at the expense of these fucking animals.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. But it was that particular one of that picture is the P.T. Barnum's one.
Oh.
Yeah, like he bought it out in like 1860 something, and it kind of got lost to history. People believe it got caught in one of the mini fires that happened at P.T. Barnum's like oddities and stuff like that. So
is he a terrible person?
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, I was like, I don't think anybody in their right mind that's like nice and good would purchase one of these and be like, yeah.
Well, I mean, he was like an oddities collector and like would put it in his museums and stuff like that. So that's like where it sat for a long time.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, he was terrible. He would like kidnap people and like torture animals and shit like that. That's why.
Isn't he the circus dude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. I was about to say, I was like, that's who The Greatest Show is made
of. It's him.
Oh, but so like, would you say that The Greatest Show was like a glamorized version of the way that P.T. Barnum was?
Yes.
Because I was like, doesn't he go and just ask those people to be a part of the show? Are you telling me that he kidnapped these people to be a part of the show?
Well, he didn't kidnap everyone, obviously, but it's like he did offer places for people to go, like with oddities and stuff like that. But he also was very coercive and would like kidnap people and like because he had a train, and so the train would like leave like the city that they're in. So I was like, oh, you can't go back now. What are you gonna do now?
Oh my god, I'm just realizing how terrible P.T. Barnum is.
No.
I already knew circuses were like kind of shitty with the way that they treat the animals that were in circuses. Like years and years ago, that started being a thing that people were like calling attention to. But P.T. Barnum, because I never really looked up P.T. Barnum. I just knew he was a circus dude. This is terrifying and awful.
Yeah.
This is unsettling.
Yeah. But that's one of his like attractions was the Fiji mermaid. And it took a long time to like figure out what it actually was.
But this is like confirmed it's a monkey and a salmon.
Yeah.
And people
Well, I mean, it's because again, it's something that, Japanese fishermen would do this, and they are like, yeah, we did this, who cares? Oh, so
they weren't like they didn't like spin a story about this like legend. They just
Well, I mean, it's like what? This is like 1860 something, and then like they probably just came across like all this information, like, oh yeah, Japanese fishermen would take advantage of like dumb white people in the area and, take their money. And that's
Jesus Christ. He is a poor little guy. He's like a little birthday boy.
Not anymore.
Jesus Christ. This makes me sad. This makes me really sad. Just like to know the extent that people would go to, just in general. I'm also gonna put it in F tier, just for the cruelty that has become this legend, or and, like what this legend started with.
Yeah, and we just know what it is.
Yeah, the fact that we know what it is, and it's just
All right, this one confused the shit out of me. This next one, the Mongolian death worm.
Okay.
Because I was aware of this one, like pictures and stuff I've seen. Is just a gigantic fucking worm, like like something from Dune, or Tremors, like just a gigantic sandworm, or like from SpongeBob. That's how I imagined it.
Yeah,
and that's how it's like drawn and like made to look and stuff like that. The facts of it are, it's pretty much just like a couple, like several feet long.
Okay.
It's just like a big snake, pretty much. That's all it is. A worm that's like the size of a thick snake.
And what makes it worm-like? Just like because it's
a worm.
So
like think of an earthworm, but it's like big and thick.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's just so like it doesn't have like eyes or anything like that.
No, it doesn't have like any of those like crazy jaws. Like it's just a big worm.
I see. Okay.
But like, it confused me in the way is like, oh, I know this is cryptid. It's just like a big fucking worm.
Yeah.
Like a monster, the size of a house kind of worm. But it's like, just, oh no, it's just a couple feet long.
Oh, so like you knew the exaggeration of just like, oh, it's like enormous,
Yeah.
but in reality, it's just like, you know, maybe the size of
the people in the area were like, oh no, it's like, you know, a couple feet long. You know, they just kind of follow you around and like under
like,
the underground.
it's
like, ooh,
pretty.
spooky.
It's a pretty big worm, dude. Like, I don't know what you want. It's hilarious when like the locals are just like, it's just a worm, dude. It's just gonna follow you.
Yeah. It's not that crazy.
I will say this image that you've pulled that like is depicting what the legend could be is definitely making it a little bit more menacing than.
Oh yeah, they made it like super violent and stuff. Like it has teeth usually and like crazy like pincers and stuff. But they're like, oh no, it's just a worm that's just underground. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't.
I love this because that is like the essence of what like people who do storytelling is they probably got like a small spook of seeing like the earth move behind them.
Yeah.
And then like because it's no story to just be like, yeah, this like weird big worm was following me. It's kind of weird. Like they have to exaggerate it and be like, yeah, like, you know, I was inches away from being taken by this giant
being
worm.
Eaten whole by a giant worm.
But like it looks, yeah, like I'm thinking immediately sandworm from like Beetlejuice. Like that's like my thought is just like, you know.
It's even smaller than that.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because like a couple feet, that's like what, 3 feet's a yard, and a yard is not even very like long. So it's like
it's just like this big around, maybe. Just it's just a worm, dude.
It would definitely spook me to see it. But then when you like look at it and you see it's obviously like just a worm
just hanging out.
Worms don't do shit or do much at all, like kind of just loses the scare.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's no evidence of it, so it's like it's just Mongolian Mongolian like Gobi Desert, like with Mongolia and China folklore. So it's just like, oh yeah, there's worms hanging out. And then it just got, I don't know, like hyped up to be gigantic worms for some reason. It's like, okay,
maybe they just needed like something to bring people there to look at. Maybe just like
it might just be part of their like culture of like, you know, just the desert culture. But it's just like what I think it is. I think it's just like a kind of desert snake.
Yeah,
that, like, you know, hides because some snakes hide under sand to like keep their body warm during like at night because they'll like burn up. Or they'll get too cold and die.
I can see that.
I just think it's that.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then like, you know, just people back in the day just like, oh, it's like sandworms. Ooh, it's just a story. Whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They're blown out of proportion.
Wow, really lackluster. I fear I might put this in F tier as well.
But what about the big sandworm though?
If we're going off that legend of like, if we're going legend wise,
like gigantic
like what
sandworm.
people are always saying what it is, then I probably would put that in C tier.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely terrifying to be like, oh, there's like a giant worm following me. Like,
but then the Mongolian worm is just like a yard maybe.
Yeah, that one's just like, okay, I'll step on you. Like I can still.
But why would you? It's just a guy. He's not even doing anything.
Yeah, imagine it's actually a person that's in like a suit. It's like a snake suit that's like
he's just playing night
underneath.
crawlers.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. It was very like I think there's some fun in the fact that we can explain some of these cryptids away, but at the same time, it's just like, if it's that easy to do that, or if it's that easy to just be like, these people are saying this is what it is, how do they become so like glamorized and exploited almost?
I mean, it's just a story that kind of goes along with it. It's just like intriguing to think of a giant worm that like attacks people and drags them back under like ground and stuff. Terrifying.
Yeah, that's one thing where it's just like, yeah, okay, if I heard that, I'd be like, I'll watch out.
I'm not going out there. I'm not fucking going out there.
I get that. Okay, I get that.
So I think it's just like how terrifying they can be is what draws people to them. But then like if you just, you know, go back to the source says, oh, it's actually just like a yard long and they just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
And you also just know in the back of your mind, oh yeah, snakes kind of do that and they kind of like shuffle around in the sand. So
yeah, I could see that.
Just put all of them together. It just
okay.
Yeah, but it's the story of the cryptid itself, which is like the interesting part of it.
Yeah,
Not so much
definitely.
the scientific reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I put that in C tier. Definitely.
Let's go.
He gets a little bit bigger of a of a jump because like that fear factor now of like, shit, yeah, he could drag me under. Like that I wasn't thinking about.
Mm-hmm. Could be terrifying.
Could be very terrifying.
All right. We'll move on to our last and final one.
Okay.
This one freaked me out. I didn't like it.
I'm looking at a picture of a man here, Tipsy.
Mm-hmm. It's a man.
It's just
It's
a man.
A white man.
Oh no.
Scariest monster of them all.
The scariest legend.
What you're looking at is Indrid Cold.
Okay.
Also called the Grinning Man.
Oh, okay.
This is also seen in West Virginia.
Oh, fucking West Virginia, dude.
He's usually tied to like the Men in Black. Are you aware of them?
Is it like the video or the movie Men in Black?
No. For some reason, I don't know why they like chose the Men in Black originally, like kind of work for the government, but they're like alien-ish looking. They're like, imagine like Voldemort, but like creepier looking.
Gotcha. So that's it. That leads to the thought that like we've already made contact with aliens and we've made peaceful relations and we're working together.
I mean, they say they work for the government, but like they say they're like government officials. Like, oh, I'm with this, and then they like probe you or whatever. But,
so they're okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, like
they're
evil
trolling.
entity people, but they're like usually in black suits and stuff like that.
Oh,
that's where they get their name.
I gotcha.
Yeah, they're usually tied with the Men in Black and UFO sightings.
I mean, this is pretty creepy.
Mm-hmm. This picture shows him with like hair and stuff, but usually they're like 6 feet tall, like average man height. Reflective green suit.
A reflective green suit. Okay.
Yeah, usually with like a small black belt on or something like that.
Okay.
No real like features to their face, just a dark complexion with like little black beady eyes.
Okay.
No nose, no ears, no hair.
Gotcha. So this one's depicting a man.
This is there's another like other sightings of him, which is like slicked back black hair, bluish reflective suit instead of green.
Okay.
And just really like creepy looking features of him. They just grin too.
This is giving me anxiety. Like I actually have like a little bit of anxiety like staring at this picture.
They usually just like appear at night and just kind of like stare you down. And then when you try to run away, it starts trying to get you.
So it's Slender Man.
Kind of, yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty much just Slender Man.
This
is
like
tied to aliens.
So creepy, dude. And like I feel like aliens are the most creepy, like what I would say like legends. Cause like I mean I don't want to get into the argument of aliens real, whatever. Like it's everybody's own beliefs. But like they're so close to being the most like anxiety inducing thought of like what is out there in the universe. Because from what we have of all of this, and especially with this, is like these are creatures that are trying to assimilate into our society so they can like harm us.
Yeah. That's
the most terrifying thing of all, is like seeing something that we see is like familiar. Yeah. And then it's not familiar.
Yeah, it's just
at the same
uncanny
time.
Valley. Like just that like weird, like, whoa, something's not right there.
Yeah. That's the unsettling. And I think that like if we're going to talk horror or like stuff like this, like anything unsettling, I think always trumps just like the straight jump scare shit, because like that's how this is how they want you to feel. They want you to feel unsettled the entire time. Yeah. And that's what I am looking at this fucking picture. And what I would assume these aliens want you to do is just, they want you to see something familiar but unsettling at the same time. Ooh.
Did you watch Dan?
I did.
Yeah, like remember those like alien guys? I think that's what these are based off of.
That's what I got. I got the feeling of that, because it's like it definitely it gives like they wore suits that were classic like white guy, like just normal but like really weird.
Yeah,
face.
Their like faces are just kind of fucked up, but they're grinning. And I was like, I just happened to like I'd made this like script like months ago before I was gonna wear this anime. Oh. And then I just saw that. I'm like, is that supposed to be like the Men in Black?
It definitely seems like it leads to that. And now I'm like wanting to know if that led some creativity to Dan to Dan.
I think so. It's like the Men in Black are kind of tied to Ingrid Cold, the Grinning Man, all that are all combined in the same like scary white man with creepy features and a black weird suit on, kidnapping people or whatever.
Definitely. You know what this reminds me of? That movie, that second part of the sequel of the movie that's coming out, Smile.
Smile 2, yeah.
Where all of them are smiling. I've never seen that movie in my entire fucking life. I didn't even know a sequel existed for it yet. But like, that's what this is. And like, I want to see it because I'm just like, I have to know. I have to know why everyone's smiling.
There's that iconic scene where like the chick is like in her car. You know what I'm talking about? And that like girl starts walking out of like, because it's like the door is like out there, like right by the car. And so it's like shot in the way where you see the girl walk up to the lady in the car. And then like the like lady kind of turns like this and like the camera's over here. And you're like, what? And then like the lady who just walked up to the car, her head just does this upside down.
Oh my God.
And you just see her smiling.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That makes me, that gives me so many tingles to the point of just like, I actually like, that's so, I don't like that.
It's spooky.
It's
spooky
very
season.
spooky season. All right. Smiling Man.
What are you going to give him? The most terrifying one.
I might put him in A tier. I might put him in A tier just because I don't want to fucking look at him anymore. But he's part of the legends that I think just like it's too expansive to put in S tier. Like he's so elusive. Like there's not enough information for me to just be like, yeah, absolutely, let's go. So like I'll put him in A tier. And then I'm going to close them out. And I'm not going to look at them anymore.
Yep, because that was the last one.
Yes. Well, okay, so you've mentioned a few of your like fan faves. Well, what do you think is your all-time favorite cryptid? Or like, I guess of all the ones that we've talked about, who's your all-time?
The ones that we've talked about. I really love Mothman.
Yeah.
Mothman kind of rules. Just like his, just the aesthetic rules. I like it.
Yeah,
Omen
definitely.
Of like doom and stuff like that. I'd probably have to go with that, but then the Grinning Man after that, because that shit's terrifying.
So are you a fan of like unsettling stuff like that, like just stuff that's unexplained and unsettling?
Yeah, that's my half of the internet. Again,
I see. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. For me, I just like living in my little bubble, in my little unicorn bubble, and it's just like unicorns could exist, you know.
Oh my God, I should. You know about that horse that like the water horses?
No.
We'll throw a bonus one in there for you.
Oh shit, yeah. I do think we should visit some more cryptids. I think this was really cool to learn about because like I feel like this is information that everybody should just know about because like if you're traveling the universe or traveling the world or whatever, like having knowledge of local legends
or just having like a story to tell to like just freak people out.
Yeah, these are good anecdotes for sure. Just knowing this information. So you're fucking welcome, listeners, for us opening your world to this.
You're welcome.
You didn't want to know about this.
Now you know about the champ.
Now you know about Champy the Champ.
Yeah,
in Champlain. All right. I think my favorite was also Mothman. Like you said, Goth Girl Dreams. I'm not necessarily goth, but he's definitely slaying. And I agree. Like one of the things I loved in Harry Potter, like the third one, was just introducing like the idea of an omen of death. Like it was such a
the Grim.
Yeah, it was such an adult thing of just like, you know, that's just very spooky and scary.
Yeah,
and so like I like that
doom looming over you.
So I agree. I think that Mothman kind of like nails it in the sense of like that is what a legend is. It is one of those where it's just like, yeah, it could probably be explained. But it also, if death and destruction follow after you see it, that's even spookier in itself. Like just bad luck, you know?
I forgot to mention, there's also a picture, I'll send it to you later, of the Twin Towers going down. And someone saw Mothman coming out of the smoke.
Oh my God.
They like outlined him.
They were like, hey, it's Mothman.
There he is.
He's there. He knew it was going to happen.
He was aware.
He talked to him. He said, hey, I got these towers. They're ruining the skyline.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And there's your daily 9/11 joke that was made.
Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you, Tipsy, for opening my mind to the world of cryptids. I very much enjoyed learning about this, and like I said, like that's stuff like that is cool to know. Just like I did you have fun researching it and coming up with your own like?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a ton more here too that I've like researched and already did. So part
Ooh,
2 could be coming out,
I would love a part
yeah,
2.
in the future. So,
That would be so fun.
all right. Well, I hoped all of you also enjoyed this comeback episode during
Yes,
the spooky season.
spooky.
Yeah. Um, thank you for listening. And if you wanted to find me, you can just find me on Instagram. That's all I'm doing at the moment at tipsy.ghoul.
Yeah. If you want any of my stuff, you can catch me at Febe Anime on all platforms. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm even on Twitch a little bit now. And
Yo.
I'm just kind of chilling. And if you want to catch any more of our internet podcast, you can check us out on YouTube at Our Internet Pod. Or if you want to listen, you can listen anywhere that you can listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And it's just searching Our Internet Podcast. That's all of our socials.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Spooky.